All right, I want to talk about something here. The new anti-burst damage mechanic. Now, this really is not going to affect probably 99% of players, but it'll affect me and one of my builds, and I want to talk about it here. So basically, bosses now have an anti-burst damage mechanic. Now, I'm for this, okay? I don't know if this is the right way to go about it. I get that they have, put a lot of work and detail and animations into making, every boss different, and half the time, it's all the time in Endgame, if you have a good build, you just go in, they're dead, and you never see mechanics ever again, even on pinnacle bosses. So I kind of wish they would have just upped the HP pool, or maybe gave them, more resistances or defenses, but I don't know if this is the move. I have an example from one of my build videos that I think it was already on Arbiter, but we'll look at it. Basically, this prevents you from cheesing the boss. Like, I have a Stormblast Bolts Mercenary. Builds down in the description if you want to check it out. Hasn't been touched yet. That's what I'm league starting with. But Stormblast Bolts, you can fire 30 bolts and then detonate them. As soon as a boss spawns, you have enough time to get 30 down, and as soon as he spawns, dead instantly. Even Pinnacles, even Zech, dead, one hit. So they're trying to prevent builds like that from doing that, and Lightning Rods just got nerfed from 20 to 10. So, but I would almost rather them just, they already shortened the HP pools. Zech used to have like 30, 34 million HP, and then they bumped him down to like 11 or 12 mil. So it's kind of like, why you do that? Why are you doing that on a max tier? Anyway, so it's just to prevent people from preloading damage and popping them as soon as they appear, which most people aren't doing anyway. Anyway, once a boss has finished its emerge or becomes aggro, the damage reduction period starts counting down. The damage reduction tapers down from full effect to no effect over the course of this duration. I wish they would tell us the duration. Is it 2 seconds? Is it 4? Is it 5? Is it 6? What are we doing? For every unit the boss moves from its starting location, the damage reduction will fall off even faster. Bosses which cannot or barely move have a shorter damage reduction period. That prevents me from knowing, because with my build, let me show you guys. All right, this is Zech, okay? Zooming out a bit here. This is Zech. See how I preload? I know exactly where he's going to land. I preload my damage. I got my mortar cannons, and kablow, he's dead. So now what they're trying to do is prevent that from happening. So now, basically, that first hit when he spawns, I don't know how much damage reduction they're going to have, but even if it's half, it's still going to be good, but then I'll have to do mechanics, which is fine, because, like, it's boring when you can one-shot enemies. This was basically me like, all right, how far can we push the damage on this build? You know what I mean? So let me go as far as some other, So like this lady, we know she goes right there, boom, dead. This guy, he's gonna spawn right here. He's dead. So now it's like, okay, well, say we got this guy here. Instead of preloading where he spawns, what if I aggro him and then I run down here and then I fire my bolts down here? Because it says the more they move, the faster that reduction comes off. So if I can make him come to me and just have my bolts ready here and then wait until he gets here and then drop my mortar cannons and explode him, that's probably going to be the way we have to do it. Or we can just keep doing what we're doing, and that first pop will have, it won't kill him. It'll be, even if it's 1/4 of his HP and then it wears off, then we can just keep firing and then he'll be pinned anyway with my Tactician build. So yeah, but basically, I didn't see this yesterday when I was going through. I did put up a video. I did drop a leveling guide if you're interested for Mercenary. It's safe. Nothing got touched. The only thing now, it will one-shot campaign bosses in Act 3 and 4. But the only thing now is you kind of got to wait for that anti-burst timer. But if you wait and you bait them and we figure out how long it is, it's still possible to one-shot them. You just got to wait for that to fall off. Or half the time. There's a lot of campaign bosses that you don't have, like all the endgame bosses, you have time to prep them. Campaign, there's a lot of times where you don't have time to prep them. So you can just start firing your bolts, and then by the time, because like you don't have the attack speed, you're a little slower in the campaign, so you'll have time to actually shoot them and get them out and then explode them. So you'll still be one-shotting really in the campaign. So it really, nothing has really changed with that. But I do want to go over Arbiter here. So this was my triple Herald Coming Calamity Glacial Bolt Hailstorm round build that had Last Lament and the Requiem. So I've always noticed on Arbiter, when he turns around and does his fire Kamehameha, he takes a lot less damage for like about 5 seconds. So if you see here, yeah, I'm barely doing any damage. So I can only imagine that this was implemented obviously before, and they were just like testing it out to see. Like this has to be what the anti-burst is going to be, because if you watch, once it gets like 1 million, now it starts ramping up. Now it's going. Right? It's still not like super strong. Like let me show you what it's actually like. Like here's it on Zex, okay? As you can see, it's way more damage in Arbiter. Goes up way quicker. Also, the Coming Calamity got buffed. It now adds 50 to 100% increased Herald damage. So this build is now just going to be even stronger, which is great. I love it. So it'll be fun to respec into this and see what happens. But as you can see, here's another boss. So as you can tell, this damage is way faster than Arbiter. Obviously, Arbiter is like pinnacle and uber. But at the same time, it's like, well, I have a feeling that that's pretty much what the damage reduction is going to look like on normal bosses. How it's just going to be, it's going to trickle in, and after like 5 seconds, it kind of kicks in, and then you're good to go. So we're just going to have to play around with it, you know? But I wanted to talk about it just because I saw that after I made my videos, and I was like, well, there's going to be ways around it. But it's an interesting change. Like I said, I would kind of rather them just maybe give them more res, or, you know, forcing you to get more penetration in your build. Like you'd have to spec more in a penetration on the tree, or up the HP pools. I think the HP pools are way too low on all endgame bosses. I mean, some of them have 3 million HP. And like when you really get some great gear, even mediocre gear in endgame, you're killing them so fast. Like you want us to do the mechanics in the fight, give them like 20, 30 mil. You know what I mean? So even if you leave it how it is for +1, +2, and +3 map bosses, when you spec into +4 map bosses, give them motherfuckers like 4 or 5 times the HP pool. Give them 30, 40, 50 million. Give the pinnacles 100 million. Make us fucking fight them. Do that. But this little baby, 12 mil, 3, 4, 5 mil. Now I know if you're in a party, they have more HP. But, you know, most people are playing solo. Well, now we got the optimization, which I'm really looking forward to. So I'll definitely be doing more party play here. But anyway, I just want to talk about that. I feel maybe they could have went about this a little differently, because builds like my Stormblast, instead of, you know, instead of giving that anti-burst, up the HP pool. So that way my burst only does, say, up to 50%, and then I got to work for the other 50, because now my initial burst is gone. I don't know. I saw some people talking about like Last Epoch did it, and then there was feedback, and then they pulled it back some, and then I don't know if they removed it altogether. But because like when you're mapping and you're doing these endgame bosses, you're just going quick, right? If I'm now going to have to wait 5, what if they make it 10 seconds? And I have to stand there and I just got to do mechanics. And then like once it wears off, then they're instantly dead. It's going to be like, well, now you're just making me wait, you know? Like I said, I would rather just them have higher HP pools, and then that would make the fight longer, in my opinion. I think that would be better than this. But then I guess it's like, all right, well, what if people aren't doing that much damage? All right, well, then get good at the game, you know, or work to get better. But then it's like they're trying to make other builds. What I like that Mark Roberts said is, instead of bringing lightning down, they want to bring everything else up, and that's the best way to go about it. But I mean, when you look at Mercenary, lightning is just OP. There's none of the other skills are viable endgame. It's all lightning or grenade. You can't use hailstorm rounds. Maybe now with the buff might be better. I don't think it'll be good for bossing because it doesn't really hit the same spot. But I mean, they need other skills that can handle endgame bosses that aren't lightning, especially for Mercenary. But I don't know. We'll get in there and we'll see. But I mean, this definitely affects my Stormblast one-shot build. So we're gonna have to figure out a way around it. Or, I mean, we pin on hit. So if we still prep and get that initial hit and we pin and we have 4 or 5 seconds of pin, I think we can get up to 6 or 7 with the stuff on the tree. That then gives me time to then, while they're pinned for 5 seconds, shoot another 30 Stormblasts in the ground and then pop them before they can move. So we'll have to see. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. And check out our videos. We got all the Mercenary buffs. We went through all the Mercenary changes in the patch notes yesterday. That vid's up. I've got my leveling guide up, my league start. We got links to if you want a full written guide. It's all here, ready to go for you. But anyway, subscribe, come back. See you on the next one.